From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a huge night and a big week ahead of us. A week like none other. It's the biggest week of the entire summer through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We'll go over the latest details of these massive numbers and why it's going to be a shocker. A week like any other? No. We'll have the latest details in tonight's recording. Plus, we go back over those unemployment numbers released on Thursday, not particularly good. What's coming up this new week? Well, last week we had the data on the housing market. Today we're going to see why that data was just the start of a very tumultuous month across the board. Big news for you, that your benefits are going up. A lot of money. We're going to go over how much, about $5,000 across the board. And the other incredible great news is that you're going to get lots of money in today's recording. First stimulus check is in every U.S. state. Yes, it's in every U.S. state. We're going to go over all this incredible sums of money, approximately $100,000 for you to get from Joseph Biden from the series of executive actions back in the month of March. You qualify. Single individual, $75,000 less. Married couple, $150,000 less. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits. Passed by the President of the United States back in the month of March, executive actions, a lot of checks. We're going to get them later in this recording. We're going to go over those. We're going to go over the raise of your benefits. And, of course, the Build Back Better Act. That'll be front and center next week as well. A potential vote just days thereafter. Earnings recession underway for this U.S. economy. We'll be looking at why this big new week is important for you. With the earnings recession currently underway, we'll be looking at those unemployment numbers, why it signaled that this economy is slowing down. We'll be looking at the housing numbers as well. And of course, we'll be looking at those inflationary numbers released days earlier. The inflationary numbers had a series of beats 2 weeks ago, and we're going to see the implications of that in this coming week's data. It's the biggest week, really, of the entire summer. You're not going to see a week like this. And we're going to go over everything you need to know and what you need to be prepared for in this brand new week from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. A lot of major breaking news from the shores of Santa Monica, California. Become a member. Go right in this video and join this channel. Get those incredible forced stimulus checks late in this recording. Stay to the very end as we go over all these incredible checks from the shores of Santa Monica, California. It's Evenings LA, starting right now. And good evening, everybody. It's a beautiful night here along the coast, and we've had big weeks before, but nothing like the biggest week of the summer coming next week. It's a shocker, and we haven't had anything like this in a very long time. We're going to go over everything you need to know in this big new week coming upon us. We'll be looking back on last week with those unemployment numbers released. They were dramatically horrible. The earnings recession underway with Twitter and Snap missing big price targets last week on top and bottom, and then those inflationary pressures caused by gasoline and consumer products that all raise your money across the board. The great news is late in this recording, I have big checks for you, about $100,000 across the board, stay to the very end, and the raise of your benefits up across the board. Huge, as the biggest raise you've seen of a generation. We're going to go over all that incredible money later in this recording. Become a member right now. Join this channel right under the video and get ready for the biggest week of the summer starting right now. This new week is just a shocker. It really is a shocker. I haven't seen a week this big in a long time since Lobster Fest 2019 in Kentucky. Mitch was in attendance, of course. Let's go over the latest details coming right now. On Monday, we have a little bit of corporate earnings, but on Tuesday, here we go. On Tuesday, corporate earnings from the two biggest companies in America, Tuesday through Thursday. Microsoft is on Tuesday with Google. And then earnings from Facebook come on Wednesday. And on Thursday, of course, is Apple. But let's jump into what's happening in between there. On Tuesday, you know what happens. Your favorite stand-up comedy routine goes into session. It's the Federal Reserve's FOMC meeting. Yes, day one of two meetings. 2 days of that meeting. This is the July FOMC meeting. They're likely to do a 75 basis point or 100 basis point increase at that meeting. 9 a.m. on Tuesday, however, we have the home prices numbers released. This is big because it's going to show us what's going on with that housing industry. We have the new home sales an hour later, and then same hour at 10 a.m., again, all East Coast Standard Time, consumer confidence reading is coming out. That is going to likely drop lower. On Wednesday at 10 a.m., we have more data from housing, pending home sales, and then we have the official announcement from Federal Reserve Jay Powell at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. On Thursday, we have the corporate earnings from Apple. Of course, there's literally a dozen earnings reports coming Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm giving you the biggies those days. This is the big week. This is the big week. And then here you go. This is the number you and I really want to watch. Thursday, 8:30 a.m. What would you equate that to? You would equate that to an announcement that your favorite pop group has broken up. Yeah. What is Thursday, 8:30 a.m.? Well, you're going to think it's new jobless claims number. That is correct. You got that right. New jobless claims number. We're going to look at last week's number. But also Thursday, 8:30 a.m., same Department of Labor, your GDP for the second quarter of this year. This is the announcement. The economy is in recession. The official announcement, the U.S. economy is in recession, will come at about 8:30 a.m. Thursday morning. Now, let me make this very clear to you. You're watching LALATE, the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America. The reason why we're going to number 2 is I'm telling you, this time, Thursday, 8:30, is going to be one of the most dramatic, cataclysmal, soap opera-ish events of the entire summer. When they say, hi, you're in a recession. Imagine how many other broadcasters are mentioning this data coming next week. None. None. You need to get your hard hat ready. You need to stock up on water and canned goods because the pandemonium, the toilet paper apocalypse is going to hit as soon as Middle America hears that announcement. And I expect probably by maybe 2 hours later, you're going to see this everywhere across local news in your rural areas. Everyone's going to say, we're in a recession? Yeah, they announced it this morning. I'm telling you right now, I'll tell you why in a second. We already know that. And then Friday, the PCIe, which we detailed a few weeks ago, that signaled inflation had gone higher, is released. This is the key number that the Federal Reserve uses for inflationary reads. Wow. Is it going to be a dramatic week? It's going to be a dramatic week. Is there beginning anything good in that week for you? This next week will also, because you see the graphic, the next week is also going to potentially yield, it's like a 90% plus chance, that the Senate parliamentarian rules on the Build Back Better Act provision addition of cheaper prescription medication. And we likely get indication of whether the vote is set for the Build Back Better Act Part A. That's coming up later in this recording. In a week like this, with so much going on, you know what you need to do. You know what you need to do. You need to get that fourth stimulus check that is in every U.S. state. Go right in this video and become a member. Become a member and get these incredible sums of money, which I'm going to go over with you later in this recording. These sums of money you qualify for, and it's huge. It's the biggest payout we've seen of a generation. Approximately $100,000 you qualify. Single individual, $75,000 less. Married couple, $150,000 less. We're going to go over all that incredible money with you later in this recording. But let's go into what we saw in the last 2 weeks leading up to this big new week upon us. What did we see? We saw CPI surging to 9.1%. Not last Wednesday, but the Wednesday before. That was the inflation week. That week started on Wednesday, when the May read for inflation from 8.6% jumped to the June read that Wednesday at 9.1%, out of control. This was higher than expectations, 8.8%, and it showed that inflation ought to beat. But it's great news for your benefits. We'll go over why it's great news for your benefits in just a second. The week continued with the CPI beat on Wednesday, the PPI beat on Thursday, and then on Friday, the retail sales beat as well. What does this mean? It means that 2 weeks ago, on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we had 3 different reports released that give you guidance on inflation. The CPI, Consumer Price Index, how much you're paying for the goods of the market. This is the number that Americans really understand. They repeat it. They actually know this terminology, the CPI. It's a different universe. A year ago, you would know every reality TV star. Now you know every inflationary benchmark. If that's what's going on. CPI, people know this word. The Consumer Price Index number that Wednesday. Then the day after, the lesser known of the two brothers and sisters, the PPI, the Producer Price Index. This is what the wholesaler pays for products on the wholesale market, went higher than expected. And then on Thursday, the retail sales, and that went higher as expected. Let's go over specifically what the numbers showed. On the CPI on Wednesday, it was a 9.1% read, higher than the 8.8 print, and much higher than the 8.6 of May. And this was the highest number we've seen since 1981. CPI delivered another shock, said Robert Frick that day at National First Credit Union, because the inflation of the CPI was felt across more sources of inflation. He called it a broadening of inflation, meaning it was not just in one industry, it expanded to other industries. That was on Wednesday. The CPI, remember, the month before, the Federal Reserve raised rates based upon the CPI. On Thursday, the Producer Price Index came in, and it was the highest number since the record posted in March of 11.6. It was 11.3%. Then on Friday, the retail sales number, not last Friday, but the Friday before, the retail sales numbers was released, and it was a 1% raise when they were expecting much less. This means that the product you went to go buy was a lot more money in the store. It doesn't mean you're buying more products. It just means that single product went higher up in the 1 month. That was then. Why is this incredible great news for you? Huge news, the best news you've had if you're on benefits of your generation. Because your benefits are going up the biggest amount of a generation because of what's going on with that inflationary numbers released 2 weeks ago. Let me go over the analysis with you starting right now. Your benefits are going up because this enormous raise of inflation has not settled down. Approximately $5,000. This is you if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, and Veterans benefits. This is you. We're going to go over the calculation of it in 1 second. It's dependent upon 3 months. We're going to go over the calculation of those 3 months in just a second. I first wanted to give you the background on the inflation. Now we'll go over the calculation of it. Viewers have been asking great questions. Let's go over how this works. First, let me explain to you the magnitude of this. It's insanely great news. It's the biggest lift you will have of your lifetime. Why? Because inflation is never going to be this high again in a generation. And who is this you? You, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Veterans benefits, any of the beneficiaries. And if you're on multiple benefits, absolutely. Number 2, is it automatically? It's all absolutely automatic. More stimulus right in your wallet. Number 3, the same raise? Absolutely. The same raise across the board. Every state, every income level, every type of benefits, you all get the same percentage raise. That's the federal law. And finally, the same amount of money, $5,000 for everyone? No. That depends on how much your benefits are right now. Some viewers will see more than $5,000 more per year. Some viewers will see less. It depends on the individual viewer. All right, let's go over why this is happening. Your benefits are tied to something called COLA, cost of living adjustment. And that number is determined by another number. And it's called the CPI-W. Yes, it's a subsection, a part of the CPI, which we just went over. But the COLA is not dependent upon the CPI over the whole year. It's only dependent on 3 months. Which months? This month. July, August, and September, which are released a month later. They're not released during the month. We have to live the whole month first before the data is released. So here we go. This inflation we saw 2 weeks ago with the CPI surged dramatically in the month of June. If we remain where we are right now or go higher, your benefits are going up an astronomical amount. So let's go back to that graphic. We need to watch as a family on this channel, LATE 1, LATE 2, and certainly on LATE 3, where that CPI is this month, which will be released next month, August and September, because with that, your benefits are going up the most of an incredible generation. It's absolutely incredible. We can see that data in not only CPI, PPI, and retail sales, but we can also see it in the housing data. The housing data was released last week, but we got more data, more coming up this week as well. What did we see on that housing data last week? What did we see? We see 3 days of 3 beats. We came in on Monday with a home builders beat, Tuesday a housing start beat, and Wednesday with a housing sales beat. But let me explain what it was as a beat specifically. Last Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but the Wednesday before that, the National Association of Home Builders Housing Market Index. Oh, was it this Wednesday? It was this Wednesday. I thought it was last week. It was this week. On July 18th, the National Association of Home Builders Wells Fargo Index released the first data, which is a sentiment data. It's a confidence data among home builders. And it was the second biggest drop ever in the 37-year history of this tracking tool. Dropped 12 points to 55. Last time we saw a drop this significant was the record at 42 points to 30 at the start of the pandemic. Affordability, the greatest challenge of facing the market, says Robert Dietz, NAHB's chief economist. Significant segments of home building populations are priced out of the market. That was Wednesday. Then on Thursday, July 19th, we had the next data. This is actually a sales data, so it's not a confidence number. This is an easy number to digest. The number was for new home starts. This is for building a brand new home. And this number showed a drop of 2% when they were looking for an increase of 1.4%. Ouch, that's a major swapper. And then on Wednesday, the third number, the June home sales, this is existing home sales, fell 5.4%. This is the second lowest pace since the month of 2020. It's clear that due to the plunging affordability, says Lauren G. Young, chief economist of realtors, we've never seen mortgage rates shoot up this fast as a magnitude. The mortgage application is now the lowest in 20 years. So this new week, we're going to see a lot of other housing, labor, and also other data. This is why you have to get this forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. You gotta get this money in every U.S. state. We're gonna go over all these incredible checks later in this recording. You deserve this money. You wanna get this money. You don't wanna wait to get it. It's available now. And we're gonna go over all these incredible checks later in this recording. Here is a preview of that money starting right now. Step 1, become a member. Step 2, get that incredible membership newsletter. And step 3, subscribe to this channel. Let's get a preview of those incredible sums of money coming up later in this recording. These monies became law back in the month of March, a series of executive actions that got you these huge checks. We're going to go over all these incredible checks. This federal stimulus later in this recording, it is about $100,000. Yes, in every U.S. state, yes. And you need to get it. Why? Because this economy is changing so dramatically. You need to get these forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state, approximately $100,000. We're going to go over all those incredible checks later in this recording. How do you do it? You subscribe to this channel. Number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, expanding to number 2, with now 1 channel expanding to 3, and the relaunch of its website at LALATE.com, launched nearly 20 plus years ago. But let's go back into what we also saw this last week, no less than 48 hours ago. Another reason to get that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state, it was the unemployment numbers. Shocker. 251,000 released on Thursday. What happened? We went from 180 4 weeks ago to 200 to 230 to 240 to 251 in just a few weeks, less than 5 weeks. And the confidence numbers right now are not good. The sentiment right now is that labor is no longer strong. This is a major change across the board from where we were just days before. Let's go into this biggest week of the summer, and let's go over specifically what you and I should expect this new week across the board. Well, a lot to go over. We're going to have labor, we're going to have a recession, and we're going to have inflationary numbers. What do we see on the recession? Corporate earnings. Corporate earnings. We're going to see whether that earnings recession is manifests itself across the entire market or just certain markets. If you watch Friday's broadcast on this channel, you saw the healthcare companies really beat. When we talk top and bottom, top is revenue, bottom is net profits. And we say beat, it means it's better than Wall Street expected. Let's say Wall Street said 1 for revenue, it comes in 2. That's a beat. Let's say it came in at half of 1, like 50 cents. Then that's a miss. So on the healthcare, they were a beat on the top and bottom in those second quarter 2022 earnings reports on Friday. But when we looked at tech, Snap, especially, Twitter, especially social media, took a bloodbath on Friday. It was horrific. So this week we have a mixture. I mean, on Tuesday, for purposes of earnings recession, we're going to be looking at tech. We have a lot of restaurant quick food like Chipotle and McDonald's on Tuesday. We have some auto like General Motors and on Tuesday as well. On Wednesday we have some home improvement type items like Sherman-Williams, of course, the paint company. And on Thursday we just got it all. I mean, we got gas, we got Dr. Pepper. You're a Dr. Pepper. I'm a Dr. Pepper. We're all Dr. Pepper. We got Hershey's chocolate. Yeah, no, sugar-free chocolate cake. Yeah, well, maybe not. And then on Friday, we got some pharmaceuticals. So for earnings recession, we have a whole swath of this economy to look at to see whether it's hitting dramatically. But then on the housing, we have a lot of housing data coming this new week. Again, it's been now 1 week out from last week's housing data. We'll see whether it's consistently bad. I expect it to be bad. I don't see any reason for it to be better. We have the FOMC, the Federal Reserve, 75 or 100 basis point. I don't really expect much change there at all. And then we have the consumer confidence numbers. I'm going to look at that. And of course, the PCIe, which is very important. That's a huge inflationary number. We had that several weeks ago. It gave us guidance on the CPI before it was released. This, my friends, is why you have to get a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over all these incredible checks you deserve. You get them. You go get them right now. How do you get them? Step one, go under this video and subscribe to LALATE. Become a member to this channel and get these incredible checks in every U.S. state. We're going to go over all these incredible checks in just a second. One, go under this video, become a member, and then stay the second half as we go over all these incredible checks. Let's get a preview of those checks right now. First, they're huge. They're approximately $100,000 done by executive action from Joseph Biden in the month of March. Viewers have been getting it ever since. They've been cleaning up. If you just found this channel, welcome. It's your turn to get this money today as well. These incredible sums of money are available right there. SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, and veterans benefits. You want to get these sums of money right now before this economy gets worse. You don't want to wait until your back is against the wall. You get money on the come. These forced stimulus checks are in every U.S. state. How do you become a member? Go right in this video and join the channel. And in the second half of this video, we're going to go over each of those incredible checks. Now let's turn to the wonderful LALATE worksheets, which are featured in the membership newsletter, free for members. They're the talk of the town. And let's go over why those worksheets were so helpful for one viewer who got 18 months of multiple checks. Wow. And that was less than 48 hours ago. These, my friends, are the LALATE worksheets. What are the LALATE worksheets? They are a PDF, which is a terminology for a series of pages that are in the worksheet, in the newsletter. If you go down the newsletter to like the third line, it says, here's the worksheets. Click it, it's a PDF. It'll open on your phone, or you could print it from your phone or print it to your computer. And then about 8 pages are in there. You can go through each of those individual 8 pages, but I'm going to do it with you right now to give you the latest update on those pages right now. First, inflation. What do we learn about inflation today? We learned that we have a huge week of inflationary data coming next week, and it's the biggest week of inflationary data across the board. We also learned that inflation is not peaked. So it's been 2 weeks since the CPI, PPI, and the retail sales came out. Hasn't peaked. We will see if the new data coming this week shows any type of easing. My projections, no. Recession. Earnings recession, oh baby. We're going to look at all those massive corporate earnings this week. It's a week like you've never seen before. And to see whether those earnings recessions are there, partial, or only sporadic in certain industries. Labor, we saw those labor numbers last Thursday, also in this recording. 251,000 new jobless claims. What am I projecting for this Thursday? Higher. It could be 260. I think it could be 260. It went from 244 to 251, so that's a pretty big jump. But I projected to go to about 260 this Thursday. Federal Reserve meets on Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm projecting the Federal Reserve to do 75 or 100 basis point. The consensus of Wall Street is 75. For you, it doesn't really make much of a difference one way or the other. The inflation is so important because that's where your benefits go up. The next page of the LA worksheet is the one that is the hit of the town. It is the incredible table of forced stimulus. One viewer was doing exactly what she was doing, but she forgot to look at it. Let me tell you what she was doing. She was taking notes on this incredible table that has a place for you to put in what day you apply for Check B, what period of payments you sought, what payments you got, who's your contact, what's the amount. She forgot that she had applied for Check B. And what happened on Thursday? She got an email, and the email said, ma'am, you're in Florida, and congratulations, you've been approved. What was she approved for? 18 months of multiple checks per month. 18 months of mortgage payments. Her mortgage is being 100% paid for 18 months. Incredible. Incredible. That is not a few $100s, folks. That is not a few $1,000s. That is an absolutely enormous sum of money because she became a member on this channel. Number two, the incredible utilities. She didn't just apply for one, because I tell you, apply for all utilities. She applied for multiple utilities. So there you go. It's 3, 4, 5 approximate checks per month, 18 months. Let's do it. Let's do 4 times 18. Yeah, that's more than 50 checks. It's upwards of 60 checks just because she became a member on this channel. That's the value of membership. It's also important to also read your notes on your worksheet because she forgot she had applied and it was a big surprise. Now, why do I use her as an example as well? Not only as an example for success and motivation, but also an example for what you do thereafter. My message to her, my message to you is if she got, let's say, water paid for 18 months from July now forward, well, she needs to go get the water from January to June of this year paid by someone else. That's what you do. You never stop winning. You keep on getting money. This stimulus, that raise of your benefits, well, there you go. We're looking at CPI, which will be released for July and August and September, and September in October. And that will give us a gauge of how much your benefits are going up. We have a table in the worksheets for you to calculate that out. Then we have the huge details about gasoline and student loan debt forgiveness, which are the next 2 last pages. Student loan debt forgiveness. The president's going to forgive $10,000 of individuals who make $150,000 or less lifetime. He's already forgiven debt for individuals who went to work in the nonprofit and public sector after graduation. He went to forgive individuals' debt for people who became disabled after graduation, and for people whose debts were procured by fraud by the university. Let's then turn to the gasoline part of the equation. Very, very important. We had a huge news story in this week covered on this channel, but I know it got buried because there's so much going on this week. Have you seen how much news there was this week? That news story was that natural gas was bought by the European Committee in advance of Nord Stream 1, the pipe that feeds gasoline to Western Europe from Russia, from being turned off. That's a huge news story. Why? Because we haven't bought any gasoline at all. We are missing 3.5 million barrels of gasoline per day. And this last week, on Thursday, your transportation secretary appeared on broadcast news. And what did he say? He said the energy policy of the White House is working to reduce the price of gasoline at the pump. It's just not true. It's just not true. The reason why gasoline, the U.S. domestic average, according to AAA, has dropped is because traders say they are trading the value of gasoline down in the United States, betting on a estimate that a recession will curb reduced demand for gasoline. The concept is you're in a recession, you may be unemployed, you will drive less. That's why the international price of Brent crude has not come down that significantly. It's hovering anywhere from 102 to 110 in the last 48 hours. The takeaway is for you is that with no deal to buy gasoline prices will go higher. And what you need to know is that your inflation will track higher as well. On a related inflationary front, let me just jump in here. We had that major deal announced by Ukraine and Russia overnight, featured yesterday on this channel. The deal is for corn and bread. As you know, Ukraine is the bread belt of all of that region. They feed all the bread for the entire region. It has not been able to be exported for a long time, and that commodity, bread and corn, featured in the membership newsletter nightly, is driving up our inflation because there's a shortage. There is no Ukrainian bread, wheat, corn. Now that potential deal has been inked, but let me make this clear to you. It's not going to impact inflation for you for many months because it takes a while to get that bread harvested, shipped out. It's a whole big time log. That's why you have to get that fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over all those incredible checks for you. Become a member. Go right in this video, become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. And the second half of this video, we're going to go over all those incredible checks one at a time. You're going to go get them this weekend. You can get these checks on this weekend. You can do the legwork on these checks on this weekend. You can apply for these checks on the weekend. Weekends are great times because you have free time. Maybe you work part-time during the week. Maybe you're a retiree. Maybe you're with the grandchildren during the week. You're busy. Weekends are when you want to watch LALATE, and weekends are when you want to get checks from LALATE. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over all these incredible checks. Become a member and get ready to learn and earn in this big second half. We got a great show still continuing, plus we'll have the latest details on your benefits, more of that preview for the new week, and more about the incredible dramatics of the Build Back Better Act. I'll see you back in 60 seconds as America's most loved show in primetime continues its evenings. See you back in 60 seconds with the latest details tonight on what's happening with your big money.
If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now in a beautiful second half on the shores of Santa Monica, California. Hope you're having a beautiful day. It has cooled down significantly here across the coast. Hope your weather is doing well. I'll be with you all weekend long. Make sure you tune in because you can't miss these incredible checks. Did you become a member during the commercial break? I hope you did. Go right in this video and join. Join this channel, join LALATE, where the news is happening, where the money's happening, where people are succeeding. Become a member to this incredible family and get that incredible membership newsletter across the board. In this big second half, starting right now, we're going to go over each of these wonderful checks that you deserve and you will earn. Let's go over each of them, starting right now. Back in the month of March, viewers of this channel said, LA, they haven't got to that Build Back Better Act done yet. Can you get me some checks? And I did. I found these checks by executive action from Joseph Biden. They immediately went to the newsletter that night. Two great things about these checks. One, a lot of money. I wanted a lot of money for you. Why? Because I care about you. You have a recession I've been projecting since February, coming, already underway. The real hurt of it being felt next year. You have the financial cliff coming in September. You got to get a lot of money, not a few $100s. That's why these checks are great. Number two, broad eligibility. Broad eligibility because I want to have as many of my viewers qualify. Approximately $100,000 of checks. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you rent, if you own, if you have children, if you don't have children. If you're on benefits, SSI or SSDI, go get it. Series of checks which I give a lettering system to, check A, B, and C. How do you get these checks? You become a member and you go through the newsletter and you get each of these checks. We're going to go over each of them starting right now. I give them a lettering system on the channel, starting with the letter A and continuing thereafter. And let's jump right into it, starting right now. That check A is $6,500 to $12,000, a four-stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. If you're on benefits, go get it. It's called the Weatherizing Grant. And how do you get it? Step 1, go under this video and join the channel. Join the hundreds that join daily to become members of the fastest growing, number 3 most watched financial news channel in America, heading to number 2. Become a member, get that incredible membership newsletter delivered to you via the YouTube alerts. When you get that membership newsletter, you go down till you find check A. There it is. Click the link, and then it sends you into the nationwide website. And you choose the Weatherizing Grant, and you're ready to rock and roll. $6,500 to $12,000. You're not done there yet. You're going to go get check B. Check B is what that viewer got early in this recording. She got those 18 months of multiple checks. It's about $15,000 to $80,000, but many viewers are tracking about $65,000 to $80,000 or more. How do you get it? And who gets it? Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get it. And if you're on benefits, go get it. You know how to get it. Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Step 2, go into the video and join the channel. Become a member. Get that incredible membership newsletter Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert. Become a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Go down the membership newsletter. It features a lot of great information for you. Wheat, grain, oil, the latest details on Build Back Better Act, the latest details on student loan to debt forgiveness, and your benefits raise, all featured in the membership newsletter. But you go down to check B. There it is in the newsletter. You click the link. It sends you into the nationwide website. When you're at that nationwide website, you choose your state and you pounds. My goodness, have you seen what we've done already? Incredible. That's $100,000 right there, baby. That check A, $12,000 on the high end. Check B, $80,000 on the high end. $100,000. We're not done there yet. We're going to go get some check C. Check C is a deliciousness of lots of checks. Rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and more. Viewers are tracking at an average of $45,000. A lot have gone over $150,000, and many have gone to $2,000 a month over 12 months. You deserve these incredible checks. How do you get them? Step 1, go under this video and become a member. Join this channel. Step 2, get that membership newsletter for members delivered via the member alerts. Go down till you see check C. It tells you who to call, what to ask for, and what to say. The success stories of Check C date back to the earliest days of this channel because we've been doing Check Cs for a long time. This channel launched on April 25th, 2020, even though LALATE has been around for nearly 20 years. And these incredible checks have paid out $50 million to viewers of this channel. All these incredible checks, I should say. Among them are Check Cs. Let's look at the success stories on Check Cs. Rent. Here you go. From Nisi, Richard, Nancy, Margaret, Elizabeth, all the way up to $30,000. Go get check C's. From Angela, Mark, and Nancy, all the way up to this, but Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000. Go get some check C's for utilities. The same brother-in-law is getting $250,000 over 10 years for SNAP. How about combinations? You want to get a combination of checks. That means you get one check, then another check. Here's Nisi, Mark. Get ready for Lorraine and Johnny and Margaret. Nisi was at $23,000. She went to $50,000. Mark was at $32,000. He went to $166,000. This is why you become a member. He went to 50, then he went to 100, then he went to 166. Lorraine, she was at 105, now she's at 150. What's the common equation for Margaret, Lorraine, Johnny, Nisi, and others? They, one, watch all the videos. You gotta. I mean, look at this new week. I mean, I started taking notes on the new week, and I said, oh, there's a lot to take notes on. It took me like 15 minutes to take notes on what's happening next week. You gotta know what's going on. I mean, look at this new week. Everything from the housing to consumer confidence to earnings recession to the Federal Reserve to the PCIe, which is basically inflation. You can't miss this stuff, folks. You miss this stuff. It's like missing the reality TV storyline where you learn about the major plot twist. You can't miss anything because it's so dramatic for your money. It's so dramatic. As I told you, this Thursday is when they announce we're in recession. This Thursday was when the Department of Labor is going to say, hey, we've had a negative quarter of GDP growth. You're in recession. You already know that, so you're preparing accordingly because you're watching this video. If you didn't watch this video, then you wouldn't know this news is coming to Thursday and you would be behind on the news. Can't do that. The Nisi, Lorraine, Johnny, and Mark also do this following same thing. They get a check and they keep on getting a check. $800 here, $1,000 there, $1,500, $5,000, $10,000, all adds up. You keep on getting checks. One of the things I detailed yesterday on this channel, I think it was a really good message. I want to do it again right today. Was and I don't think I've done it in a long time. Is Check C. Check C is a lot of checks. I call it Check C like a singular, but it's really plural. Why? Because first it's your rent or your mortgage. Let's just call that rent. That's one item. Then it's your utilities. Everyone has at least 3 utilities. You may have 5 utilities: water, gas, heating, oil, electric, telephone. Yeah, you at least have 3 utilities. You may have 5. So that is 6 items right there. 5, 6. Let's just say I call it 5. Let's call it 5 items right there. 5 different checks. What I have in the membership newsletter for you is 6 government departments to reach out to. And then I have about, about 8 nonprofits. So that, let's call that 12. Let's call that 12 places to reach out to for 5 checks. Okay, 12 times 5 is 60 checks. Did I do that math right? I think I did. It is a lot of checks. And that's 1 month. That's 1 month. You saw the viewer here that got 18 months of checks. 18 months of checks with their 50 possible places to get checks. That's a lot of possible payments for you. It's not one check. So one of the messages I made very clear yesterday, I think at work, was I said, hey, do not go in the live chats and say, there's no checks in my city. Yeah, there are checks in your city. There are checks in your city. I just showed you how every city, every county, every state has this swath of 50, 80, 100, 200 checks over a massive duration of period. And it's all featured in the membership newsletter. When someone says that, it suggests to me that, one, they're either not listening, but most likely that what they're saying is they're looking for, let's say, the Austin, Texas check being sent to all Austin residents of $200. That's not what I cover on this channel. That's local stimulus. That's a county stimulus check. That's a state stimulus check. This is not a state or local coverage channel. This is a broadcast channel across broadcast media for the entire country. So what I'm recording is for the entire swath of this economy. And when I say every state, it does not mean it's coming from the state. It's not coming from the federal government or from the nonprofits. That's the incredible great news. That's why you get these big sums of money. All right, let's go into the other story that's coming this new week. You know what it's likely is. It's a Senate parliamentarian. The Senate parliamentarian is set to reveal her decision on the prescription medication provision. And that is one of the biggest items of this week across the board. That Senate parliamentarian is set to rule whether a provision negotiated by Joe Manchin and Chuck Schumer over the last 2 months can stay in there and be called for a vote in a reconciliation process of the Senate. She's likely to say yes. Cheaper prescription medication is likely to get in there. They have a lot of lawyers that work on these Senate teams, and they've done this up and down. It's likely to survive. So the next question is the vote. Chuck Schumer and Joe Manchin have an option on the table, and I think they should take it. Joe Manchin's concept is that whatever he and Joe and Chuck have negotiated so well, so keenly over the last few months, call a vote on it and get it done. Call a vote on it this July and get it done. Then do another recon this September and do what's ever left over in September that has not been negotiated and does not have a negotiated agreement. I like the idea. I think it should be done. And so that is what you're likely to see in this new week. Whether the parliamentarian says yes, which I think she will, and whether Chuck Schumer will say yes, I like Joe Manchin's idea of calling the vote. You may also see that student loan debt forgiveness announcement coming this week as well, because I've always said the president would do this with all the congressional leaders around his table when he signs this into law. The question mark, of course, is the president having COVID. He can't be around people. So maybe he'll do it digitally, with a screen of senators and House members applauding his executive order. That's what I hope he would do. I would hope he would not leave this to August when he doesn't have anyone to celebrate with him because they wouldn't be there in town when it happens. A lot of data coming in a big week across the board. Here's what you need to know. What you need to know is that this economy is really shrinking fast. And one of the things we've seen over the last few weeks is the projections on this channel have been spot on. I was the first American financial broadcaster to report we're going into recession. We are in a recession. The official announcement of that recession, Thursday, when the Department of Labor says that 2 negative quarters of GDP growth have been experienced by this U.S. economy. The second one ended in June. Why do we know this? Because because the Atlanta Fed GDP Now data released on this channel 2 weeks ago from a tracking tool they use, which is live, called the Atlanta Fed GDP Now, and has a 20-plus year record of 100% accuracy, said the second quarter, again, posted a negative GDP growth. 2 negative quarters of GDP growth is what's defined as a recession. Now, we all understand that the hurt, the implications, the financial stress of recession will be felt by different people at different times. We saw this last week. We saw it yesterday when we saw social media stocks take a massive tumble. When we saw Snap down 75% now year to date, when we saw Twitter take a massive tumble. And yet the same day we saw pharmaceutical companies go up dramatically. We've seen Tesla go up nicely since the month of June after they took a massive fall earlier this year. This is what happens in a recession. Not every part of the economy is impacted at the same time. What do you need to do? You need to get these 4 stimulus checks across the board. What you're going to see potentially is Thursday, Americans going to wake up and say, I'm nervous. They're likely going to do that. Why? Because they're going to see the new unemployment numbers on Thursday, which no one's going to ever say anymore that they're great, strong labor numbers. That has been wiped from the smiles of false analysts for the last 2 weeks. Kept on saying that 230 was a great number. It's not. Now we're at 251. It's likely to go 260. They're not saying it's good. Also on Thursday, they're going to hear that we have now posted a recession's economy. They're going to hear that. They're going to hear unemployment. And they're going to be here. They're going to be here looking for stimulus. And that is why you don't wait. The financial cliff, I always say in September. The stimulus stampede, I always say in September. But that news is such a double whammy on Thursday. You may think they're going to come here on Thursday. You may think they're going to come here on Thursday. What am I saying all weekend long? And stay with me tomorrow as well. I'll go over more about this tomorrow because of running time. I don't want to run too late tonight. But let me tell you what's going on. I believe that when Americans get their unemployment check for their first week that they claimed potentially last week or this week or the week before, because most of the unemployment claims really surged out of control in the last 2 weeks, they're going to look at it and say, what is this tiny little thing? This must be a mistake. This is not what I got in 2020. Why is this like $85 a week? I can't live on $85 a week. This must be a mistake. And then they're going to realize, oh, wait a second. I used to get that $600 a week on top of that for FPUC. Is that still law? It's not. What if they're an independent contractor? They're going to get nothing. They're not going to get a single check because there is no PUC. There's no PUA. And what about those extra weeks of benefits? PUC, all gone. Americans are going to have a very tough rude awakening. And there is no inherent policy determination at issue to solve that situation for you. So in a big week ahead of us, you don't want to wait to get those checks. You want to get this money right now. Big week and a big month continues. I'll be with you all weekend long with new shows on this channel. And yes, if you've not missed it, let me tell you what's coming to LALATE. LALATE is expanding like you've never seen it expand before. It launched online for social on YouTube in March of 2020, with 1 channel, now expanding to 3. In less than 2 weeks, this family will be added with 2 new channels. On LA2, you will have the latest details on your stimulus, a 24/7 show about stimulus, and then lots of humor tape shows. On LA3, you'll have a 24/7 live broadcast about the economy, a recession, unemployment, housing, everything you need to know, and lots of cooking shows. Meantime, 2 new chains have already been rolled out. They are the brand new LA Live. It is now 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can jump into that live stream at any moment and hear the latest breaking news about your money. Also, LALATE.com, the website that started it all over 20 years ago, has been repurposed and now features your money as front and center. You got to know where this economy is. You need to get all this money. It's all for you. You deserve all this money. It's a confusing economy, and within a confusing economy, someone needs to guide you through it. Thank you for all your wonderful comments last week and this weekend. I look forward to seeing you in the live chats, and I will give a shout out to all the new members when I see you join. Become a member. Get that incredible sums of money. You can get this money over the weekend. Purple Hawk, Purple Power Casino VIP. And from the shores of Santa Monica, California, God bless. Stay informed, stay focused, stay motivated, stay positive, and stay with LALATE for more.